Good morning, everybody. I am Tanya Maddox, and welcome to Montrose Matters Live. In the studio today, I have Scott Scarborough from City Farm. And guess what? Scott is slowly becoming one of my favorite people on the planet. Welcome, Scott.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure. Well, you say that now. You just wait and see.
Okay.
We're going to have some fun. But before we get to Scott and all things that have to do with City Farm, let's take a look at some upcoming events that we have going on here in Montrose. Okay, so believe it or not, June is right around the corner, and the city is bringing back Funk Fest. So that is fun on the Uncompahgre River. That is happening on Saturday, June 12th. And a little birdie told me that if you still need a vendor booth, that they have some available for that fun event. And then right after that, on the 17th of June, Power Players, that luncheon for local professionals who like to network, hear a great speaker, that is happening on Thursday, June 17th. And guess who the guest speaker is this time? It is none other than Nathan Perry from CMU. So Nathan's the local economist. He is going to update us on everything that is happening in the first two quarters, I guess, of 2021. And then we'll get some networking done. And then, Father's Day is coming up. You have 4 girls, don't you, Scott?
I do indeed.
They probably spoil you a bit on Father's Day, don't they?
Depends.
Well, you tell them that if they want to feed you, they can take you out to Grace Community Church. They are having a Father's Day picnic. There are like 7 food trucks that are going to be there. They're going to start early in the morning, about 9:30. So bring your lawn chairs, bring your awnings, and they will bring the food trucks. And every dad gets a coupon for a free meal from one of the food trucks. So that sounds pretty awesome. And then on June 24th, the Montrose Economic Development Corporation's annual meeting is coming up. It is always a great time with an amazing speaker. So that'll be happening on June 24th. Wow, June, that's a lot of events, right?
It is. It's a month.
Yes. Well, guess what? I plan on going to all of them.
I can imagine.
Well, I need something to do, and there's lots to do in Montrose. We're going to be right back, take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to have a chat with Scott.
Employees, and we were in a double wide trailer with 4 exam rooms. So that's where we started, behind an elementary school, really focused on taking care of those children. It was a school-based clinic prior to us becoming an FQHC. But very quickly, we realized the community needed a lot more support, a lot more access to healthcare. So in the last 8 years, we've grown to 3 different sites. We have 104 employees now, and we're taking care of about 6,600 unique patients a year.
You're proud to call Colorado home. So are we. Since 1973, we've been getting back to the communities where we live, work, and play across our great state. And we're here to stay. If you're looking for an independent, locally managed community bank where the employees are also the owners, we would like to be your bank. We're Alpine Bank.
All right, welcome back to Montrose Matters Live. Scott, I have been looking forward to this for a long, long time. And you know why?
Your experience out there.
Yes, he says, okay, you say that very calmly, but my experience at City Farm was life-changing and in good ways and in scary ways. So I have a video clip that I should have brought that. Drew, next time remind me. We'll put it on the website. But I went out to City Farm to do an interview for the Montrose Community Foundation. So they said, just come on out, get some video, take some pictures of kids with the chickens. I was like, no big deal, right? It should be easy. Oh my goodness. There were like, I would say 50,000 chickens, but you say you only had 3,000 out there that day. So 3,000 chickens just started to swarm on me, and they're pecking at my little legs, and I'm just, oh my gosh, I can't walk. But the kids were walking through just fine. They were doing that there was nothing new, and these little animals were not pecking at them.
Yeah, they do a good job. The kids that come out, it's really
They do.
appreciated.
Well, I want to talk about what City Farms is overall, and then that program with the kids. So tell me, I didn't realize you were just right up the street. What is City Farms? When did you get started? What do you produce?
Well, I lose track of time. It must have been 6, 7 years ago we actually got started in the hydroponic growing business, growing vegetables and herbs and so forth hydroponically in
Which is the water. Okay.
system. And it all came about because I went to the grocery store to get a bell pepper, and they were wanting $1 for one bell pepper. And at that time, I just could not understand why it cost that much. I thought, we probably can grow these, you know. So it started out that, but we had a building down on North Cascade.
Okay.
That we had all our hydroponics in. It was an old restaurant, so it had a lot of water outlets, a lot of electrical outlets. We had lights, grow lights to keep all the herbs and the lettuce and everything growing. No marijuana. You got it.
Well, we are in Colorado. People do ask that question.
Back then, it wasn't really. But it was really a good business, and we sold a lot of stuff. We started going to the farmer's market. We saw people selling eggs there. Mm-hmm. And our family, we had always lived in a rural environment, so we had chickens and we had eggs.
Okay.
With 4 kids, that was the main thing to do. We went through a lot of eggs, so we had our own chickens. So
maybe I should get smart then and get a couple of chickens.
So we started out, we said, maybe we can sell eggs, you know, and it looked like there was a margin in there. We could make a few bucks. So we had, I think, 10 or 12 already. So we got another 10, then we got another 20. Then we jumped up to like 400 chicks, baby chicks. We raised up to where they were laying age.
Okay, you started with 10 and then you got to 400.
Yeah, pretty quick within say 6 months or so. But then it took them a while to grow up to where they could start producing eggs. And it just is growing from that. And we built one chicken house, and then we built another chicken house. And right now we're at capacity on that piece of property in that facility at 3,000 hens.
Okay.
Okay, so a little less than that.
So I exaggerated a bit when I said I thought it was like 30,000, but there was only 3,000 hens.
Yeah. But they do that. They're outside all the time, and they see somebody out there. They want to come up and see if you have anything for them to eat.
Right.
They're always hungry. And so anyway, it just kind of grew from that, and then we market primarily to grocery stores and restaurants.
Okay.
We don't really have a retail outlet per se.
So let's back up for a second here. You went from 10 to 12 chicks, and then you had 400. Then you started selling them at the farmer's market. But was your goal ever to have 3,000 hens?
No, not really. Our goal was, can you make some money doing this?
Okay.
And what
true entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah,
yes.
if you can make a few bucks with 10, can you make a few more bucks with 20, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of, but you had the associated cost of housing, feeding, and so forth like that. Yeah, it's been fun trip.
So were you always called City Farm, or did that?
And that came from our location downtown. We were in the city, but there was a farm in the city, in this building, with our hydroponic lettuce and herbs and so forth like that.
All right.
So we eventually moved out to the farm out there with that, but we kept the name.
So over those 6, 7, 8 years, we are at 3,000. You're at capacity. What's next? What does that mean?
Well, we have a lot of partner farmers that we get eggs from too, because right now we're selling around about 7,500 dozen every week.
7,500 dozen.
Dozen.
Oh,
and I think I added up.
wow.
That's 360,000 eggs every week that go out to our various customers throughout the state of Colorado.
Okay, so all over the state of Colorado.
We're all over the state of Colorado, all the way from the Wyoming border down to Pueblo, San Luis Valley.
How long did it take you to do that from when you started 7 years ago?
About 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a while. And we started out with a store here in town, Natural Grocers, and then that led us into other areas, and one thing, another.
So you're in Natural Grocers here locally.
Right.
City Market?
No, we're not in City Market or Safeway here because that's a division different than the Denver one. We are in Safeways over on the eastern slope down at, well, in Gunnison. We're in Safeway in Gunnison.
So who do I need to call? Because I can't go to my local Safeway and pick up City Farm eggs, but I can go outside to Denver and Gunnison and go there.
Tell the local store manager, hey, I'm looking for some City Farm eggs. Don't you have them here?
All right, Montrose, we're going to do this together. We're going to talk to the local city markets and the local Safeways and say, hey, we need City Farm eggs. But no, so continue outside of, so all over the state, you can get City Farm eggs, and they're produced here
In the valley.
in the valley because you have the these partnerships.
Right.
Now, how are they delivered? That's a lot of eggs that goes out.
We do our own delivery.
Oh, because you can.
Yeah, it was a choice we made because typically any type of produce or products, grocery products, are sent to a distribution warehouse. Have you ever been to Denver on I-70?
I try not to.
Safeway has a huge distribution facility. So all the products come in from the farm or wherever to there, then they're packaged and ready to go to certain stores. But we do a DSD or direct store delivery system where we have our own fleet of vans.
Okay.
We use Sprinter vans. And they have to be cooled, refrigerated. And we came across this really neat deal. Most refrigeration units on vehicles run off the engine.
Okay.
So you have to keep the engine running to keep it cool. We found a product made in Canada that runs off 12 volts. So the engine does not have to run when we stop at a store or anything like that.
Oh.
You don't have that emissions going out, subsequent pollution and so forth like that. We're super green on that deal.
Okay.
And a lot of people miss that point, but it's worked out really well for us.
So how many are in your fleet?
We have four.
Four, okay. And they are once a week or daily? They're going all over the state?
We deliver once a week to all our customers, all over
Okay.
the state. I have a driver in Denver, delivery driver, 2 delivery drivers over here, and myself. So.
Well, when you're running a business, a small business such as this, although 3,000 chickens is not small, you have to do some of everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then tell me this. What's a day in the life for you on the farm?
Well, there's a lot going on because first and foremost, you have the welfare of these chickens. You
Okay.
got to make sure they're fed, they're watered, they're protected from predators, et cetera, like that. We have to make sure they're gathered. The eggs are gathered every day. A small operation like ours, we do hand gathering. You can get a mechanized method of getting the eggs in, but we still go nest to nest and pick the eggs. Yesterday, I was charged with gathering.
Oh, yeah.
My turn. And it took about 3 hours to go through, and so we had about 2,800 eggs yesterday. I gathered
Really?
by hand.
So you said a small operation. What's a large one?
20,000.
20,000 is large. Okay. So so you go in, you gather by hand. That means you put your hand in the nest and grab an egg.
Yeah, I think maybe, did you see the kids in there doing
I
that?
did. But it was all a whirlwind. And I want to talk about those kids because this is, I mean, it's amazing what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know how you don't crack an egg.
Oh, you do. You
Oh,
do.
okay.
You're limited. If you do 3, you get in trouble. If you break
Okay.
it-
That's why they wouldn't let me handle the eggs. Goodness. But so you would gather, and what happens with them once the eggs are gathered?
Okay, then they're processed, and by that we mean they're washed, they're graded out, any broken eggs are culled out, any eggs that are too small, too big, irregulars, et cetera, like that, and then they're packaged into the various cartons that we have here.
So, and all of that is done by hand? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we actually have a washing machine that will do the actual washing of the egg, but it has to be, I have to have somebody there to put the eggs in it. I have to have somebody there to take the eggs out, make sure they're dry, make sure they go in the right cartons. Cartons go in black plastic cases, recyclable. They go in the cooler, wait for delivery.
So there's a human being a part of every process on your farm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And these, first of all, I love your packaging and marketing. I'd love to say I did it, but this is great. So you have, let's talk about the different types of eggs that you produce here. So what is gourmet eggs that are free range? What does that mean?
Well, let's go back and identify the terminology: free range, pasture, caged, cage-free.
Okay.
Right now, 99% of the eggs produced in the United States come from hens that are in cages. Okay. They may be in a 5-story building, and these hens are in a cage, and their job is to eat and lay an egg, and they're in a 12 by 12 cage. Okay. Because it's cost effective.
Right.
And the whole situation was trying to produce enough eggs for the populace out there, because everybody just about the world eats eggs. Okay, so that's a caged product. That chicken is in a cage. So that,
and is it one chicken in a cage, or is it several? Okay.
Yeah, one for 12 inch by 12 inch.
12 inch, okay.
And it's not a good environment for the chicken, but that's the way it started. So we have what we call specialty eggs, okay? And these eggs can be starting at the very base level, caged free, which I think is this guy here. Yeah, gourmet brown eggs, cage free. These chickens are not in a cage. They're in an aviary type structure where they're allowed to move around inside a building, okay, which is better. Okay. They can, they're free to, it's a brown egg. Okay, then we have that product you handled there. That's what we started out with, and what we still do is the free range. Now, free range, those hens are in a building, but yet they're able to go out of the building. Okay. Certain criteria, if the temperature's right, et cetera, if it's, snow and they don't go out and so forth like that. But they're fed non-GMO feed. Okay, now that's a big deal, is this feed, it's a non-GMO product. In other words, it's a natural product, whether it be soy or corn or whatever, it has not been genetically modified. Okay. And a lot of people don't like that. And so that's why a lot of people buy those eggs there, because of the non-GMO feed factor, okay? Great. And the free range. What we do at our place out there, and I don't have the new carton, we have enough acreage to allow the hens to be classified as pastured. And that simply means you have to have 108 square feet of outside area per bird. Oh, wow. So right now with our acreage and the number of birds we have, we meet that criteria. Okay. But a 20,000 hen barn would require 50 acres of area for those hens to be classified pastured. And that's really the top of the line, organic pastured hens. That's when you're getting an egg that comes from a hen that is natural as natural can be. They're out eating bugs, grass, whatever. They do come back in the building at night, stay away from the predators, but it's a really a premier product. And so what is you're maxed out where you are now. What's your goal then? Well, we just purchased 70 acres. 70 acres? Sure. I'm going to give these girls a lot of room to run around. I guess so. Wow. But we're going to, hopefully, we'll get a larger barn out there. We can increase the number of hens we can have and the number of eggs. Okay. It'll be a major deal. There's not too many of these around the country because acreage is expensive. Well, yes, it is. I don't have 70 acres. Yeah. That's great. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, I want to talk about your staff and this partnership that you have with the school district and all this other fun stuff. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right.
Do you imagine taking your business to the next level? You can stop imagining. We can help make it a reality. Helping businesses elevate their brand is our business. Contact Our Town Matters today for a free marketing evaluation and consultation. Call 970-765-0913 or visit ourtownmatters.net.
Believe it, just like Gigfoot, zero-lag gaming does exist. The real myth now? Slow internet made you lose. So step up your game with Elevate Internet today.
All right, we are back with Scott Scarborough, and Scott had me laughing at our commercials, which also reminded me, we forgot to thank our underwriters. How did I do that? I was getting so excited about talking to you, but we could not do this show without Elevate Fiber, Alpine Bank, and River Valley Family Health Center. So they have been with us from the beginning and believe in Montrose and everything that we're doing here. So thank you so much, Elevate, Alpine Bank, and River Valley Family Health. You, Scott, are a funny man, and he's funny when the cameras stop rolling is when he makes me giggle. So I promise you, he really did do and say some funny stuff. All right, you are not a one-man show. You have 3,000 hens out there, and it is a 7-day-a-week operation, 365 days a year. How do you do it?
Well, since they don't have an on-off switch, like you say, they're producing every day. We just have to have people to take care of that.
And who takes care of that besides you and your lovely wife?
Well, we have people that help us gather, and that brings us to how you came out there. And then we also have people in the packaging and cleaning department, and they work about 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The package
in the cleaning department. Okay, great. So,
and then the delivery guys, of course, they're going just about every day.
And obviously, when you start to put hens on the 70,000 acres, you're going to need
70 acres.
70 acres. I'm sorry, 70 acres.
I was
and I'm
70,000.
I'm still thinking of 70,000 hens that were attacking me. You notice the number got bigger, right?
Yeah.
It went from 30,000 to 50,000 to 70,000. But you go out there and you'll know what I'm talking about. So when you get that 70 acres, you're going to need additional folks.
We'll do a lot of automation in that scenario.
Is that the plan? Okay.
Yeah, they have systems now where the hens will go into an area to lay their eggs, and it'll be basically a conveyor belt. Will bring the eggs out twice a day. And there'll be there's pneumatic machines that pick them up, put them over in the cleaner, and then the packaging and so forth like that.
Okay.
So it'll take a few more people, but not that many more.
So what about the people that you're using now to help you with the 3,000 hens? Tell us about that program and process.
Well, Dawn, she brought, I know her through her husband, and she brought this program the school has about these kids coming out there in special ed, I believe, is that the correct terminology? And kind of getting them into the mainstream of finding gainful employment after they get out of high school or during high school and so forth like that. So it's really worked out well. I think they have a great time. There's 3 or 4 kids that come out 3-4 times a week. They do the actual gathering and so forth in there. It helps us out a great deal having them do that, and they seem to enjoy it.
They do, well, and it helps them out as well. So I had this opportunity. What Scott's referring to is the school district had their special needs and special education program continues for students past 18 years old if they're already in the program. And so she was looking for ways to get these, I call them kids, but they're students, gainful employment. Some of them are 20, 21, 23 years old. And what she has found is that they do very, very well on your farm. And when you can give them a job, a goal of gathering chicken, eggs and so forth, it's something that they can continue to do. It's almost automated for them. They know what's expected of them. They go in, they enjoy their camaraderie with each other, but they're working hard in earning money, and most of them they're just not employable, or people don't see them as employable, but you did.
Oh, absolutely. And, say what you will about gathering eggs, and, it's somewhat relaxing. I mean, I know that may sound, but you go out there and, think about too much, just getting the eggs.
I don't believe you, but okay.
No, seriously. I often say, it's a really relaxing time because you're focused on doing one thing. Come on,
Right.
You're not trying to juggle 20,000 other things. So,
But these individuals are earning a paycheck from City Farm, and it is doing wonders for their confidence. They're learning a skill set.
well, I hope so. I really do, because I think it looks like it would and should. And we live in an agricultural environment around here
We do.
in this valley, and there's a lot of opportunities like that. It's
But not many people, you say that, Scott, and obviously you've been here longer than I have, and there may be lots of opportunities, but there are not many others who are hiring these individuals and paying them a wage that, is livable, not however who knows what a livable wage is anymore.
Right.
These days. But that says a lot about you, and it says a lot about the school district that they entrusted these students, to learn something that will help them as they move on in life as well. And you've been entrusted with, these individuals' just confidence and livelihood.
I was thinking the other day, the teachers that come out with the kids, Dawn and the other ones, really do a fantastic job. I mean, they commit as much time as I do to these kids, to making sure they know what to do and everything like that. And they're doing a fantastic job. Somebody needs to give them a lot of kudos, because they're great.
I was impressed when I went out to the farm, and again, I wish I had a video of that, but you're right, the teachers, the paras and so forth, Dawn and everyone else, they were just as engaged. And there was a story about a young man. You have some interesting trucks on your property, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
So it's an Italian. Tell me about this European.
Well, they're from Japan.
Japanese, not
Japanese mini trucks, and they're right-hand drive.
Okay.
Versus left.
Right.
And they're stick shift with a clutch and a manual transmission. So you would be amazed, not only these kids, but a lot of kids growing up now never have driven a manual shift vehicle.
Right.
So we had to teach them that, and of course it's right-hand drive. We're not on the road, so it doesn't pose a huge problem. But just learning how to drive these was great. And this one kid, he was really proud after he learned how to do it. Then he was the only one who could do it.
The only one. So I show up, and there's this Japanese mini truck honking the horn. All these kids are jumping off the back of it, and they're all happy and laughing. And right before they go in to, gather some eggs from the hens, and he is just smiling as big as day.
Oh yeah, that's great.
To know that he was able to learn to drive this little Japanese mini truck, but he can cart all the other, employees around, and they're hopping on and off. I wanted to hang out all day. I just did not want to go back to the office. But you did that. That was because of you. You heard Dawn is amazing and the teachers are amazing, but if you didn't believe that they could do the job, then they wouldn't be there and having that much fun as they are working and earning a wage.
And that's a key thing. They're having a good time. It appears they are, and so that's great.
That's wonderful. So what can we do for you, Scott? What can we do for you in City Farm? Other than make some calls to our local Safeway and City Market. We can pick these up at Natural Grocers here in Montrose. Okay. And what if we wanted to see the farm?
Oh, just come out anytime. We're really, one of our primary goals is to really be transparent. People want to know where their food comes from. A lot of people do. It's getting more and more prevalent that, hey, where did this egg come from? Where did this steak come from? What was the chain of events that led it, to the grocery store? So we welcome people to come out, take a look, no problem at all, and see what's going on. You'll see the hens in their natural environment. This is the goal. It's a natural environment. Chickens throughout the ages have lived like this, outside, pecking in the dirt, in the grass, and so forth like that. sneaking around, finding a place to lay their eggs, and it's their job. And so we want to keep that as much as we can.
There are other people who've been out to the farm, and over the years, when your hens age out, you place ads in the paper and you'll say, hey, free chickens, right? There's one time you did that, and one or two people showed up?
One or two. They were back down the driveway out on the highway. What's the big deal? You get a free chicken, and that can lay an egg, or you can eat it.
Right.
Whatever you want. So it was quite an experience. We had people coming with their kids and cages and throwing them loose into the truck and into the car.
But so when you see the sign that says free chicken, now I'm going to know, because you make them catch their own chicken. So all these people are running around getting.
It is a major hoot.
And this is, there was one story you told me that this lady shows up and in this van, and you think like 10 kids come out of the van.
She had a whole herd of them in there, and then they had a big cage in the back, and it was muddy and rainy, and the kids are getting dirty, falling down in the mud, chasing these. They finally catch 4 or 5, and they cram everybody back in there, throw the chickens in the back.
And he says the chickens were pooping, the kids were pooping, everybody was pooping. It was a day.
I did not envy her ride back there.
Scott Scarborough from City Farm. Scott, thank you so much for educating us on just our local foods in general and local eggs, and thank you so much for allowing us to know where our food comes from when we buy City Farm eggs.
Yeah, nope.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Bye now. We'll see you next week.